Now let's create an app service plan for container-based applications. We will need a name for the app service plan. Let's define a variable for that. App service app service plan command for creation of app service plan is as follows. App service create. We'll use the G parameter to enter the resource group name. And then we will use the N parameter to enter the name of the app service plan. And then we will use the Linux parameter indicating that we will need Linux machines for the container. And then we'll use the no parameter to indicate the format of command execution output. Once we have the app service plan, let's create a web application for our container. We will need a name for the web application. Let's define a variable for that. Web app name equal to all web app. Command for creation of the web application will be as follows. Insert web create G parameter to enter the group name. Then we'll use the P parameter to enter the app service plan name. And then we'll use the N parameter to enter the name of the web application. And then we will use deployment container image name to indicate the image that we are going to use for the web application. And then we will use the FNO table parameter to indicate the format of command execution output. Now that we have the web application in place, let's give it appropriate permissions so that it can pull image from the Azure Container Registry. For this, we will first assign an identity to the web application using the following command. I'm just going to paste the command over here. Now we will be assigning role to this service principal to pull image from the Azure Container Registry. To get the resource ID of the Azure Container Registry, we will be using the following command. Now paste that here. To assign role to service principal ID, we will be using the following command. Azure role assignment create, and then we will use the assignee parameter to enter the identity to which we want to assign the role. And then we will use the scope parameter to enter the resource for which the role needs to be assigned. And then we'll use the role parameter to enter the role which is to be assigned to the identity. And then we'll use a FNO parameter to define the format in which we would like to see the output of the command execution. Once role is assigned to the web application, we will configure the web application with the details of the image that needs to be pulled from the registry. For this, we will need a registry URL. Let's define a variable for that. Registry URL equal to https:// server name. Again, server name is a variable which we already defined. Now the command that we will use is as follows: web app config container set. We'll use G parameter to enter the source group name, and then we'll use the N parameter to enter the web app name, and then we'll use the parameter docker registry server URL to enter the registry details from which the image needs to be pulled, which is basically the registry URL. Then we will use docker custom image name, which is basically the image that needs to be pulled. So this will be the variable which we already defined. And then we'll use the fno parameter to define the format in which we would like to see the output of the command execution. Now let's configure the web application port in which the container will be listening for requests. For this, we need to set an app setting with key as websites_port and value as 8000. Port number 8000 is defined in the expose instruction of the Docker file. Command for adding a new app setting is as follows. Is that web config apps settings set the parameter again to enter the resource group name, and then parameter to enter the web app name, and then we'll use the settings parameter to enter the new settings, websites_port equal to, and then we'll use the O parameter. Our script is ready for execution. Since creating an Azure container registry and pushing an image takes too much time, I have already executed the script to save some time. Script has executed successfully. Let's check the web application and see if the deployment was successful. We are able to load the web application, and we have successfully deployed a web application using an image from Azure Container Registry. Thanks for watching this video, and please check description for links to other useful resources.